Hi there everybody, welcome back to Prestige Auctions. This is podcast number 18. It's the official 18th birthday according to Chris, who we may or may not see a little bit later on. We've had a great week at the auction and we had a fantastic podcast last week. Of course, we had Colin Ormston on and what his friend did was unbelievable. If you've been in the auction today, you will have probably seen the big banner that's gone up on the wall. Of course, Mick Clark, who owns Sign of the Times down the road, is one of Colin's friends. I think he was anyway. And because he managed to get the picture off YouTube during the week, he did a big banner. And they all went round to his house to watch this thing on, and they put a red carpet out and everything, and they put this big banner. He's done a great job of it, to be fair. Mick, of course, who does a lot of the work for us at Prestige. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, who am I sat next to today? Well, this is Andy Dixon. Hi Andy, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm pretty good, thanks.
Andy's been coming to Prestige Auctions now for not too long, because 3180 your number, so
I think it's coming up for 3 years I've been coming.
is it really?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you like coming down here?
I love it. It's probably my only hobby, really, apart from the woodwork.
Yeah.
So, yeah, love it. Come down
So
on Friday.
why did you start coming down? Now, so let me think back, because I have a thing about numbers. I can never remember names, I can remember numbers. So I was thinking, looking at you in the auction room, it's always, it was like Star Trek and Star Wars and stuff like that. So what was that all about? Was that a personal collection thing, or was that buying to sell? Or
Well, I've obviously always liked Star Wars, not so much, Star Trek as well, actually. And obviously you remember me from buying the Star Wars figures on your online auction, which was, that was a bit of a gamble for me, because as much as I liked Star Wars and Star Trek, I didn't know how much stuff was worth. It was, I had a quick look online, see how much figures are worth these days and whatever else, before I obviously came to the toy auction and bid on those lot of figures, and they cost me £840 in total.
wow.
And I think I've got the recording still of that, bit where I won. It was quite funny, because I think you prefer people in the room to win stuff, don't you? You can sort of tell.
It's a lot easier when somebody wins in the room, because they pay at the end of the auction, pick it up and walk away.
It's gone.
There's no pack and sends and all this. Don't get me wrong, as a business we don't mind that, but it's just an add-on job.
Yeah, because literally, I got the winning bid, and he said, "Well done." I was like, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah.
So, it was a bit of a gamble for me, because, like I say, I didn't know much about them. I knew, obviously, Star Wars figures were, and everyone thinks that Star Wars figures are worth a lot of money. Well, they're actually not. There's not that many that are worth, more than 10 or 20 quid. And it's all about having the accessories for them. And obviously with that lot, there was pictures online, and I can't remember how many figures there was. There was over 100 anyway. And there was all like a pile of accessories with them as well.
Yeah.
All the weapons or whatever else. Well, it turned out most of them weren't anything to do with the figures at all.
Were they not?
No. So, I didn't look into that. I didn't realise, obviously, till I got them home, and I was like, oh, for goodness sake. Anyway, so then you obviously start looking into each individual figure, and there was a character called Dogface, which I didn't know. It's just like an extra in the background on Return of the Jedi. That one figure, I managed to sell that for over 300 quid.
Wow.
So, that's nearly half the money back already.
As well. Was it play worn or?
No, not really. It was really good condition, but it had no accessory with it. No, it didn't have his weapon. If it had that, it would have been over £500.
Wow. So the gamble overall?
So I think I added it up, and I ended up selling for about £1,200 in total. So, I did make money. It took a while to get that much. It's just a learning process, really. We all do this, don't we? We buy stuff, then learn. You learn by mistakes, or I still made money at the end of the day, but obviously I have to put a lot of time into it, and then I knew for next time.
I think the thing is, though, when you become a reseller, of which I've done for many, many years, you tend to stop taking your time into account. I think you have to, because if not, you really would look at it. If you thought, well, I could earn 15 quid an hour doing a job or whatever, well, and then you actually look and think, well, hang on, I spent 4 hours doing that. I sold it for 30 quid.
Yeah.
It's really more got to be a sort of a spare time thing. Right, we're just going to hold that there. So on the podcast every week, if you've watched them before, we talk about the week that was, and this is always fun. Now we've got to know you a little bit, and we'll come back to that very soon. But last week's auction, did you come in last week?
Yes, I did. I did, yeah. I did leave some bids, because I've been busy the last couple of Saturdays, so it's been difficult to get in. But I did manage to get in. I left some bids, but on YouTube I couldn't rewind. I didn't know if it was a problem with my phone or whatever, but I couldn't rewind, so I didn't see if I'd actually won anything. So I left some bids for the early on items, and then there was like a clump of lots in the 800s. I thought, well, I'll go in and make sure I win those items, or see how I get on. I managed to get here late, but apparently I did win them. And then I put my hand up for a few random bits, didn't I? So there was like, I think I ended up with 10 lots that I won in the end. And it was just mainly random boxes of stuff. Paid about £65, I think it was, including commission and that. But I got some pretty good stuff in there.
Yeah. So
mainly I've been after cameras recently, and I don't want to give all my secrets away, but...
why would you?
Exactly. So some cameras, I mean, you'll know, it depends who comes and sees, basically, whoever leaves bids, who's there bidding at the time. Some of the lots were going for, well, I won't say silly money, but money that more than I would have paid. Obviously, they went over my bids. But I bought a Ferguson Video Star camcorder. It's like this big, and I was looking at it, and after I won it, I think I only got it for like £6 or something. It's in a proper case and everything. When I got it home, I was trying to work out where the tape goes, what kind of tape it takes, if it's a VHS or whatever. I then realised it's one of those. It's so old. It's from the 80s, I think. It's got a real long cable with it, which then connects to a separate pack, which is where your cassette goes. So it's like a damn TV camera, basically. So yeah, so I got that. I've cleaned that up earlier, and I've put that on Vinted. Let's see how that gets on. But yeah, cameras seems to be.
The auction last week was quite good. Did you see that one? I mean, one of the star lots of last week's auction was the Rolleiflex camera. Did you see that one? The old.
Yeah. How much did that go for?
300 and something in the end. I mean, to be fair, the house that it came out of had been stood for sort of 9 years empty. So we all know that the atmosphere has effect on all sorts of stuff. The clothes that came out of that house smelled damp. They would have been hard to clean, etc. So they didn't make much money. And we all know that camera is sort of a £700 to £1,100 camera. But you've got to take that chance. This is the thing with the auction. There's no guarantees given or implied. So you're picking up an item like, if you're paying £350 plus the juice on top, £420, something like that, all of a sudden you're thinking, hopefully this works.
Yeah.
But even at £350, say £420 with the commission, even if you got to spend £150 on it, there was still £200-300 profit left in that. So it was a nice thing. A lot of them bits and bobs all came from the same property that we cleared, but I'd say it had been stood empty for so long. Everything had sort of a smell, and there was a lot of damp in the house and that, which was a shame because some of that stuff would have been absolutely cracking. But we had a strange sort of week at Prestige because the room was really, really busy. Viewing was busy, but we didn't have as many commission bids as normal. But then, to my mind, we didn't have any what I consider to be star lots this week. So there was nothing in there that was like pulling them in. The week before was the motorbikes. The motorbikes was the star lot.
Yep.
I think the problem is sometimes if you're lacking that star lot, then you're not going to get the people through the door as much as you would do normally. But the room was busy. Lots of people turned out. I think lots of people were bargain hunting, and that's what people got. I mean, financially for us, it wasn't as good as normal, but it was a good week in terms of sales because lots of people were buying things and lots of people were walking away happy. Happy customers come back, and
yeah, that is seems to be. I mean, I was for that short period. I must have been here for half an hour, an hour. I tell you what, Carl, if I stayed in here all day, I'd be bankrupt by the end of the day because stuff's not selling, and I'm like, well, I'll have that for £3. It's worth a gamble. I bought a box of books, right? And nobody else was bidding. And there was one book I could see on the screen. I'd not looked at it on the Friday, so I didn't know what was in it, except for I could see a word search book. And one of my kids likes doing word search. So I thought, right, I'll have that. So, bid on it, got it, obviously £3. When I got it home, I was looking through it, and there's 3 David Attenborough books from 1957 in there. 2 of them are pretty rubbish condition, to be honest. One's all right though. I got them on Vinted. Set of 3, £50 I put them on. Some guy messages asking for just one of them. How much would you sell this for? I said, I don't know which one, what you're offering, kind of thing. This was about 6 o'clock this morning. He says, oh, can you just send me some more pictures of it, whatever. So I pratted around, send him about 15 pictures for him to offer me a tenner. So
they're great.
Obviously, I looked on eBay. You look on eBay, don't you? You see straight away there's some at a silly price. And there was one of this book that was like £500. I'm like, you what? First edition, same as what I've got. All right, great. Let's look at the solds. Solds, there's like £300 or £500. I'm like, oh, my egg. But they're signed copies, aren't they? David Attenborough has signed them. So the one I've got is worth a tenner.
Well,
but still worth the £3, you know.
Look at it like this. If you said to a bank, I'm going to give you £3.54 with the commission, yeah? I'm going to give you £3.54, and 3 days later I want you to give me £10, they'd laugh at you. And they'd say, you're stupid, mate. So, and this is why we always talk about the reselling thing and that, because, you know, it's just such a simple way to make money. It's all about, can I be bothered? And you know, when I look in the auction room week on week, I mean, I buy stuff, and you know, we're doing the challenge and that, and we've got some hot news on the challenge for later on in this podcast, everybody. So I just love it though. It's an addiction. It's like having a. I always find it a bit like having a football bet. You know, I think especially if you ever put anything in the auction. Do you ever put anything in the auction?
I have done before now, yeah.
And I think that's like having a footy bet. You put the things in the auction, you sit at home watching it on YouTube, and you think, well, I think I've won, I just don't know how much. And then all of a sudden your lot comes up and you're all excited. And
yeah.
And you know, it's something that I'd never given a lot of thought recently was what somebody mentioned yesterday. No, actually, this morning, said about how nerve-wracking it is when you bid for the first time in an auction.
It is,
and
yeah.
It actually is, I think. Yeah, you know, people say
even now, it gets my heart gets racing when it gets to, you know, closer to my lot number, and then like the one before, you stop and have a chat or a laugh with someone. I'm like, come on,
yeah,
you know,
it is. It really
well, I think one day I'm going to have a heart attack. To be honest,
it's a proper adrenaline rush, I think, and then of course, and you've got that adrenaline, the excitement of the bid, and then the depression of losing as well, which
when
is
you're about to win it
thing, yeah.
When the hammer's about to drop and then someone else bids and you're like, oh, for goodness sake, and you use your maximum anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like,
you think you've got it, and then all of a sudden, some randomer at the back just goes, bink, and they put their hand in the end, they just keep it there, and they think. And you know, a lot of people do use tactics in auctions. I used to. When I was bidding in auctions, obviously more than I do now, I always used to stand at the back of the room. I always wanted to know who I was bidding against. It's very tactical, because you was looking and thinking, you was working out where the ranges were and stuff like that, and how far you could push them. You know, and when I talk about people standing in the back of the room, dealers standing in the back of the room, picking people off, that is a real thing. A dealer will sit there and go, right, I'm interested in all the furniture in this sale. Right, how much can I cost people? And somebody goes straight armed. You watch the dealers at the back of the room in auctions just going, keeping an eye on them, making sure they don't get landed with the bid. So, you know, if they drop their hand down, they'll go straight away. You watch it happen. And all they're doing it purposely to cost people money. Because it's almost like being a boxer. If you take enough blows to the head, by the end of it, you're weak. And that's exactly how a dealer looks at it. If he can take money out of your pocket by you buying more and more, paying more and more for stuff that you didn't want to pay that much for, come the end of the sale, when he's buying his stuff, there's not as much money left in the room. Makes them weaker.
Very clever.
And it's just what dealers do. And I don't think you get it so much anymore. The internet's changed everything quite a lot. Of course, our general sales are not online, so you have still got the old-fashioned rules in there. But it's good. It's good fun. But I used to be the same, especially if there was a lot that I particularly wanted in a sale, and it's coming up. And then, see, the other diversion tactic that people use, dealers use this. I've done it myself. Don't damn me for it. But where you go to an auction with somebody else, and you know who your competition is, and literally one lot before you go up to them, you send somebody up to talk to them. Takes mine straight away.
Brilliant. I've had that before. It wasn't, nobody was doing anything daft, but I was about to bid on something, and this guy started asking me questions. It's like, sorry, I can't answer you random questions right now. I'm about to bid on something. Anyway, I answered him anyway. I can't remember what, it was something daft like, how do you bid? this guy had obviously not been before. And then my item was up, so I bid on it. And then he starts bidding against me. I'm like, I've just given you an answer to your question, and now you're bidding against me. I still won the item, but you know, I was paid another £3 on top of it.
It seems a little unfair, doesn't it?
Yeah. So thanks a lot, pal.
There are all sorts of tactics, and you know, I mean, you use these tactics to the best you could because you know you want to pay less money. That's what it's about. But yeah, I mean, some are a bit dirty, some are a bit nasty. I remember one old dealer. He would literally go up to people and stand next to them and purposely bid right next to them to intimidate them. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But we don't allow that in here, you see. One of the dealers tried to do that when we first opened. We chucked him out. Said, you're bad. Don't come back. We'll never let him back into this room.
It's dirty, isn't it?
No, it's not. You don't need to be like that. It's get what you pay for. And if you don't want to pay for it, then you know don't force other people into feeling like they shouldn't have it or like that. It's not something that we have down here. Anyway, so that was the week that was. Lots of stuff happened in the auction. I can tell you this week. I mean, you've just been privy because everyone knows out there that we film this on a Monday afternoon. Don't go out till a Friday night, but you've just had a quick look around the auction room. It's not a bad auction this week. There's some interesting bits in there. Some nice old bits this week. Lots of great jewellery, but people have seen that today when they've been to viewing, of course. So I want to talk a little bit about you now, Andy. So if any of you can remember, there was a fantastic video that went out that we actually featured onto our Facebook page and stuff like that. And this is the man that was responsible for that video. So if you didn't see it, you can watch it right here, right now.
Are you videoing me?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a right menagerie now. Moo! I am your father. Oh, boom, boom. Rah! Boom, boom. Tigger! Oh no. Fuck. I'll be back. The Rock. Moo! Oh dear me! Oh! Eeyore! Rah! You want some? Come get some. Cap. Rah! I'll be back.
What made you think of doing that video?
It was one of the rare times I actually got to sit down at the auction because usually I just stand at the side and put my bids in and then try and get out as soon as possible so I don't bid on lots of random stuff. But yeah, I was sat on the front row pretty much. Lisa was right there and she was making all those silly noises and I thought, let's have a laugh at this. So yeah, I just filmed her and then obviously I took clips off the YouTube video later, just edited them together and I knew she'd appreciate it. So
I've got to say, when I see it, I laughed. I mean, I proper laughed, and my grandson Charlie still asks to watch it now. When we go around, he'll go, "Grandad, can we watch Nana at the auction?" And he'll go, "I am your father." But it was absolutely brilliant. Well, you've been doing a bit of I think your background actually is a bit of editing and photography and video work, isn't it?
Yeah. So I did it when I was a teenager. Really, I went to college to do video and photography. Sort of went towards the video side a lot more because I really enjoyed the editing, and I used to make well, not official music videos, but for the college work, I'd make music videos to go with like Oasis songs and things like that, and I just really enjoyed it. Yeah, and then after college, I sort of didn't do it any further because I didn't really want to be like a wedding video photographer or anything like that. So sort of knocked it on the head. I got a job working at a pine furniture factory, and then didn't do any more really. But now that technology as it is, you can make videos so easy on your phone and edit them and whatever else, and then post them on Facebook and YouTube. And
see, you did another one as well, which I watched the other week, which was where you went round during viewing and you sped it all up, and then you put little inserts in for things you'd found online. All pretty easy to do stuff, but you made it look really good. I liked the speed up thing and stuff like that, which I don't know how to do instantly. Maybe you could show me that at some point. But I mean, because I'm learning to edit, and obviously I'm having to teach myself, and it's not the easiest thing in the world.
No.
But it gets easier when you start to get your way around it a little bit. I mean, at the start, I used to sit hours doing it. Now I can, edit it. For instance, this podcast, I'll be able to edit it in 5 minutes because there's never a lot to put in. There's a few little inserts and stuff like that. And of course, we put all the overlays on for like subscribe and stuff like that. But no, I mean, I've really started enjoying doing that side of it. But when you did that video, I sort of looked at that and thought, I need to ask him how he did that, because that's something that we could do. And when I looked at that, just so you know what I'm talking about, everybody, I will leave a link in the description for this video here for that video that I'm talking about, which is on Andy's TikTok. Now, if you want to find Andy on TikTok, he's got quite an interesting name on there. So it's Andy Dogface. Explain, please.
So, I don't think it's because I've got a face like a dog at all. Basically, at my old job...
Can leave a comment there if you want.
When I first started working in the warehouse, one of the lads there was a bit of a nutcase. He basically said to me, he says, right, what do you want your nickname to be? Dogface or Pig Dog? So I went for the lesser of the two evils, I think, and it just sort of stuck from there, really. Nobody called me Andy anymore. Everyone just calling me Dogface. So then I started my own business and called it Dogface Furniture.
So what is your own business?
I make things out of reclaimed wood.
Right.
So mainly pallet wood. I'm now using scaffold boards and things like that. Just making rustic shelving, furniture, anything really.
Got a website?
I'm on Etsy, Dogface Furniture. I'm on Facebook. I've not got my own website because I didn't really think it would be sort of a viable thing to do.
Are you on Instagram?
I am, yeah. I don't do a lot on there. I've literally not made any sales through Instagram at all. There's that many woodworkers on Instagram. It's just not very personalised. I don't tend to like Instagram at all, to be honest, for anything.
I've got to say, it's something that we don't really use. I mean, we have got an Instagram page, but I don't really put anything on there. And I'm always like sort of keen to talk to people that have done it. As another one I don't really use is Twitter, X as it's now known.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Which again, everyone's saying it really is the place to be. But I think when you're doing so much, I mean, of course you're doing TikTok. I much prefer YouTube to TikTok. I mean, obviously because of the way I mean, to me, TikTok is just too quick scrolling. It's too quick.
Yeah, I mean,
if you can't hook them within 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, I don't get a lot on TikTok, to be honest. And you'll be glad to know that this morning I did start my YouTube channel.
Oh, good.
And I uploaded that video, a couple of videos actually. I've got a whopping 2 views so far, which is probably me and my daughter. So
just think. I just want you to think on this, right? So we had a YouTube channel running for years that we just never did anything with. I thought Facebook was the answer to everything, and we've built up. I mean, our subscribers and followers across YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and all this. Now we've now got 25,000 followers, which is significant amount of people.
Yeah.
But YouTube, when we sort of got into it, sort of 17, 18 months ago, which is when we got serious about it and said, look, we need to do something with this and we need to start, promoting the business better through YouTube. I found that it grew quite quickly. I will say that YouTube by far is the hardest one to get people to subscribe to.
No.
It's not, subscribing to YouTube, everybody, You don't have to pay to subscribe, but we've just started a new thing. I don't know if you see last week's podcast, but we've actually set up a membership thing, because if you become a member on Prestige Auctions YouTube channel now, it's £3 a month, £2.99 a month, but you get additional videos to what the general public don't get.
Yeah.
The reason we're doing that is because, you know, we need to get sort of if we could get 1,000 people doing that, we could employ a cameraman 2 days a week and someone to do the editing, and that would take us up a level.
Yeah.
The problem we have all the time here is time, and time is money, because, you know, we all work in the business. You know, whatever position we're in, you know, whether you're an owner, manager, whatever, everybody works, and it doesn't leave a lot of time for this side of things. And you know, you're a guy that's done it. That, you know,
it takes a lot of editing. Takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know, especially like I say, with this podcast, obviously we're doing a lot of talking, so there's not going to be that much editing. I'm not going to be doing a lot of swearing, so you won't have to edit all that out. So, but you know, when I was doing that video with the speeding up and the overlays with the random screenshots from eBay of what things are worth and whatever else, and then cutting to me talking and things like that, you know, it did take a lot of editing.
Yeah.
But, you know, because it was just all on my phone, and the software is just so user friendly. It's just, everything's just so easy these days, but it's just still time consuming.
See, our plan here, if you in fact, you can see it down there, we've just got a green screen.
Oh yeah.
So that fits the size of this full wall here. So this is all going to be turned green. So the podcast will be done in New York, the Thames, all sorts of
Hawaii
stuff before long. So, but again, it's another list, a thing on the list of projects to do, which we struggle to find the time for, which is why we need to build the memberships up so much, everybody. So if you are watching this and you can afford to pay £2.99 a month, the more people we get subscribing to that, into the memberships, the quicker we can get to a standard where, you know, we can take it to another level, because it's what we want to do.
Yeah.
I want this fly on the wall documentary about Prestige. I want people to see what a real auction room looks like, not one of the ones that you see on the telly, because they're not. Everything's stage managed, everything's coached, everyone's, you know, you just had 20 minutes of seeing us eating a dinner, for God's sake. And some of the things that are spoke about, and Lisa's tensions rising and all the rest of it, you know, it's the stuff that goes on in a day-to-day business. You see, Lisa is very organised, and I'm very much of the old ilk of, if somebody wants to get rid of something, I want it straight through the room, straight in. I want it straight away, because if not, you lose it.
No.
Where Lisa is like, well, that's all right, but where are we going to put it? And I sort of say yes and worry about that later, whereas Lisa will worry about it first. So it can get interesting, and some of the debates that we have can be interesting. You know, staff fatigue as well. You know, it's hard work out there. Monday in this room, turning an auction round from 1,350 odd lots last week to being empty yesterday, to start filling again before dinner time yesterday, and to be full today.
I can't believe I don't know how you guys do it. You just, you know, I've walked in there today. From 2 days ago, it was full of other stuff, and now it's full of, you know,
new stuff,
fresh stuff.
Hold on, but as much as I want to take the credit for that, the credit only lies with one person in a team, and that's Lisa. Lisa rules that room with an iron fist.
That's why you're hiding here most of the time, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do stuff like this to just get away.
I get out on quotes a lot.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, Lisa found her position that she likes, which is in the auction room and managing it. My position is valuations, going out and getting the work. You know, that stuff doesn't just arrive at the auction room. I have to go out and quote for these jobs and get them all the time.
Yeah.
So that's my area, and looking after people, and of course YouTube and social media. And then the team that we've got working for us is just phenomenal. They're a fantastic group now. They've all got a good sense of humour. One good thing about being at Prestige is we've still got that old-fashioned workplace ethic where you can still have a laugh. No one gets too offended about anything, you know. And I found, because I mean, I worked in industry before I came into this, and I watched it change over the 23 and a half years that I was in that job, from it being a really good laugh to it being a really miserable place. And all because, you know,
Sad, isn't it?
It all started, to my mind, when personnel became HR.
Yeah.
Because the old personnel woman that used to work at our place, a woman called Jill, this was at Bluecrest back in the day. She used to walk through that factory and she knew everybody by name. Hundreds of members of staff, yet she knew them all. HR never used to see them. It was just a team of people that, I mean, all of a sudden you've gone from personnel, which is quite a nice name, to human resources.
Yeah.
You're just a resource now. That's it. Toe the line.
Makes you sound like an ant, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's how it felt. And so I was always determined that. Granted, we're not a big corporate business, but that we had to keep this personal. Like
you're definitely more of a family. I mean, like, I don't know, like you say, the bit that I saw today, you lads, you're having a laugh out there while you're sat and eating your dinner and whatever else, and it's just like one big family, really.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling where when you come to work on a daytime, because it is all said and done. To me, it doesn't feel like work. It never has done.
No.
That old saying of find something you love, you'll never work another day again is absolutely true.
I'm very lucky that I've got that as well. I started my own business, and it's obviously what I love. It's what I do in my spare time when I'm not doing auction stuff, and it's just I just love it. I love going out in the car, just collecting pallets and stuff.
With the auction stuff, then. So clearly, you're a man that's filling his time with work anyway. So is the auction side of it, more just of a pastime, a hobby? Could you ever see it getting anything bigger?
Well, I go through stages. I mean, I won those 9 lots this week, and then suddenly I'm like a bit overwhelmed with. I've got 9 boxes of random stuff that I've got to go through to find out what's worth what. I've chucked. I don't know how you go through your stuff, but I have a bin, I have a box for charity, and I have a box for reselling. So obviously, divide them up. You have to go through every little thing to see what's worth what, if it's worth keeping or whatever else. And sometimes I just get so fed up with taking pictures of stuff, Googling it. I sort of, like when I made that video of me, researching stuff and at the viewing, you just get sick of it after a few hours. And I'm like, and I've said to you before, viewing, I said, I need to cut down because this is not what I want to do in my life. I don't want to be a reseller, but you get such a thrill out of it, like when I found that book and I thought it was worth £500 for a start. That's a buzz, that is. And when I sold that Star Wars figure for £300, you get a rush from that, don't you?
You do, yeah.
So it swings and roundabouts. As much as I like reselling, like this morning, I've got loads of stuff listed. I made about 4 sales already. I made more money doing that than I did in my actual business. Where I'm supposed to be making stuff, but it's whatever, really. I like having something that I can do in the house where it's nice and warm in the winter months, which is more comfortable than going out to the workshop and getting cold and dealing with pallets in the rain and stuff.
Well, the thing is, maybe you can mix the two up over time, and that's it. The auction room. As long as we're doing this, it'll still be here. Grimsby was lacking a good auction room. The thing is, there is another auction room. Everyone knows that, but they're very much of the old-fashioned ilk. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. And ultimately, selling is selling is selling. It doesn't matter whether it be pots and pans or Rolls Royces. You've still got an item to sell. And we live in a town that there are wealth levels from here to here.
Yeah.
So these people might want to spend more money. These people haven't got it to spend. So when you get talking to people and you get into the heads and they open up a little bit. Oh, you just joined up at the auction, or what you after? Well, me and my wife have split up, and I need some pots and pans. I need a washing machine. I need a fridge freezer. I've got a place, but I've got nothing, and I've only got 500 quid. And they're the people that come in and kit their house out in a general sale auction room like this, and you feel quite good about that, thinking, well, you've just solved all their problems.
Yeah.
They couldn't even afford to do that in a second-hand shop.
No.
And I think there's almost, when you get talking to the vendors, the people that have lost somebody, the estates, and they're saying to you, Mum would really be happy just to see it go on and get used. So, and I think that helps them with their grieving process as well, knowing that mum's stuff or dad's stuff hasn't just ended up on the tip, because no one wanted it. That somebody's actually going to take it away and give it a second life and love it. Look, Andy, it's been great talking to you. And I want to thank you for coming on, because not everyone's got the balls to get up here and sit in front of the camera.
I quite enjoyed it, I like this
and
kind of
talk
thing.
a little bit. And don't forget, everybody, to have a look at the video. The one we've shown you, and of course the other one will be linked in the bottom down here. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to do something quite magical. Are you ready?
Yep.
Whoa, he's back! How are you doing, buddy?
Back in the country.
How was the holiday?
Unreal. Again.
Got a bit of colour there.
Yeah, I've got
A bit of colour on the bald head there. Was it?
Yeah, it's all nice.
With that. You put a bit of sun cream on.
No, I was British, Anna.
You're a man, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know what that's
Bloke
for.
thing.
Just went red for 2 days and then it browns off eventually, or falls off.
Kimbo, have a good time?
Yeah, brilliant.
How was the moped?
That's the best way to see Tenerife.
Is it really?
Yeah, picked it up at the
Holiday
airport.
tips.
Yeah, pick it up at the airport. Just to, Ryanair, get your little tiny bag so it goes through for next to nothing. Stuck the backpacks on the old 125. Best way to see the island.
No, I mean, obviously, when we've been to Tenerife in the past, it's always been like with the kids and that as well. So, never something we'd never really thought of doing. But yeah, I suppose it kind of worked, wasn't it?
Yeah, you see everything and there's...
You're not tired, and the island's not that big, is it, really?
No, it took us an hour to get from Adeki up to Santa Cruz, right at the top where the cruise ships come in. And took us about an hour to go across the island through the volcano. Not through it.
So not through it, because
it'd be a bit hot, wouldn't
you
it?
know, more than a tan. What's food like? Just food.
Yeah, hotel was like it was like a hiker's hostel.
Well, yeah, I mean, remember, it was only about 70p a night on it, something like that. So, what do you get for 70p?
The hotel was mega.
Was it?
The food was brilliant, and we had proper paella on Friday, seafood paella.
Really?
Yeah, not an Aldi one, because that's
No
what I know.
sangria with it.
No, not on Friday
sangria?
night. No, we were having champagne sangria down in the resorts.
Wow, you've been making too much on the
Yeah,
challenge,
yeah.
clearly.
Yeah.
So pleased to be back. I know you've just had a grueling day. I mean, normally we're doing this podcast by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, aren't we?
Yeah.
And at what time is it now? I say it's about 4:30. Something
Yeah,
like
about 4:45ish now.
4:30, 4:45. It's just been a bit of a grueler. The auction's huge.
We're all crawling now. Everybody's got like...
Everyone's had enough today.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's... Pardon me, you're saying it's a good auction, aren't you?
Again, I've said it week after week. Oh, this is the best auction there's been, but this one's crazy. It's got my tools in it, so I'll be buying this week.
Well, that's it. We had a big tool job in that we kind of left for you, didn't we? I think Lisa kind of left that one for
Yeah,
you.
look after me.
So you can get back into your buying. And of course, buying is what we've all been doing while you've been away, and it's been interesting. Must say, we did miss you up there. We had Rob cover you for the first week. Rob was great. He come up there and did a bit of spotting for me. And then last week I was on my own. Oh, no mates. Billy no mates this week. But you know
Did you miss all the bids on the right-hand side?
No, I was pretty good. I don't think I missed any bids this week. And you know, the room, I was saying to Andy earlier, it was a nice guy, by the way. Yeah, he came on a podcast, and of course, before we talk about the room, so of course we've had somebody fill in for you. We had Colin in here last week.
You're going to say Jane popped in when I weren't here.
No, Colin certainly didn't look like Jane McDonald. Well, obviously, if he did, then Jane McDonald's career is over. No offence, Cole. But you know Jane McDonald. But no, Colin came on, and you know what? He gave it a good shot. He came on, talked a bit about himself, told him what I was doing in the auction. And that. I know you've not had a chance to look at it yet, but
no.
It was. You do need to look though, because there may be one or two bits you need to see.
I was going to watch it last night, but I fell asleep.
But yeah, but he did a good job, and then and it was good, and then Andy came on today, and you would have just seen it just now, and talked a bit about it. And next week we've God, we've got, I forgot her name. Jill.
Yeah.
Ed's a shed today after today, but Jill's coming on next week as well. So we're hoping to sort of do that one, all three of us, and sort of have a good chat about the area and stuff like that. But it's good. It's good getting other people on as well. But what I would like to do is, of course, it be the three of us, or three or even four of us when it comes to these podcasts, because you got to bounce off each other a little bit more.
Do we need some sort of like a cafe table or something? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we are looking at lots of different things. And of course, another thing that started while you was you kind of off it, it's just sitting into its infancy, is the memberships.
Yes.
We're looking, for people to join up as members on the YouTube channel, $2.99 a month. I've already mentioned this earlier, but that way we can get a cameraman in. We can have more than one camera angle and all sorts of stuff, and we can really start to make the stuff a lot better.
You get some exclusive content though on that, don't you?
What, for a membership?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. So I mean, you're going to get at least one video a week, maybe even two, and we're going to start pouring more of that out. We'll do some members only stuff as well.
Yeah.
And it's just nice. It'd just be nice to have that sort of more professional angle, but everything costs money, and that's just the way it is.
And time. Yeah. Time's quite hard to come by.
Time is hard to come by. Yeah. But no, well, I'm pleased you had a good holiday. I must say, I'm pleased you're back.
I'll be going back though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a good time. You know what? I don't blame you.
Oh, there's one thing I've got to say. There's been masses of negative press for like people protesting in Tenerife and Spain about tourists and stuff and things like that. If you read it, you start thinking, am I going to get any trouble on holiday? Is the mood going to be weird? It was completely the opposite. I've been to Tenerife quite a few times, and this is the friendliest they've ever been.
Do you know what? When you look at an island like Tenerife, now we was in Tenerife last year with the kids.
Yeah.
And we'd see one or two signs saying tourists leave and tourists
out. There's a little bit of graffiti on things, isn't there?
Yeah, but let's face it, I think you're going to get the way we all know the way the press work. The press are full of crap.
Yeah.
And they'll find the smallest little story and turn it into something massive. It's like when we was in Qatar. All we thought was, how badly they treat all these people and that. You just get talking to these people, they're as happy as pigs. Yeah. In it, they're absolutely having a great time.
Yeah. It's a right proper wind up.
And I think, let's be honest, if you look at somewhere like Tenerife, where's the money coming from if the tourists don't go?
Well, I think it's running at about 70% tourism for their GDP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
bananas.
It's all right having the odd idiot turning around and going, we want our island back, we don't want tourists here. Yeah, but then people are probably protesting, the ones that have got plenty of money that don't need tourists there.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the poor sods that rely on the tourist industry. God, I used to live on the Isle of Wight. My parents owned a guest house, for God's sake. You relied on tourism. If you didn't have that, you didn't eat.
Yeah, there's not a lot else happening there, is there?
No,
but they keep saying there's no housing. One of the things they were on about is no housing for locals. We literally drove on a road 10, 15 minutes from the capital. There was hundreds. Houses abandoned, just waiting to be renovated.
Yeah,
it's like a 10-minute drive out of the capital.
Well, that's it. Let's face it. Our press do like to make a mountain out of a molehill.
And the Spanish they were the friendliest they've ever been. They couldn't do enough. And it was really felt like you were welcome there.
Yeah.
So I'd go back again in a flash.
Good. Well. So what have you missed? Well, last week. Sorry, you've missed two auctions, haven't you? Of course, two auctions. Week before last wasn't super busy in the room. That's when Rob was helping me. And then last week the room was really, really busy, but not as good of figures in terms of financials, but still a really good sale. Lots of interesting older stuff. But a lot of it had a lot of tainted sort of damp smell to it, which I think kind of put people off. So didn't do top money, but it did okay. This week, as you know, is going to be great again, and we had them fantastic motorbikes while you was off. They sold well, and it just ticks along as Prestige does. And hot news: Prestige have bought another van. We've now got two Luton vans, so we've got 3 vans in the fleet now. So, things are getting bigger and better all the time. So we can cater for people's house clearance needs a lot better.
Yeah.
And apart from that, Me and Lisa worked a lot of hours. We're working late tonight because we're trying to get specialist sales done.
Well, I think we're going to hit 1,500 items this week.
Yeah, I think we are.
I'm pretty sure it'll be
I
1,500.
think it's going to be a hard auction this week. I don't think in terms of selling stuff, 'cause I think the stuff's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even get. I know we did promise everyone the rifles and that this week. Haven't even got them in. No space. Jewelry cabinet. My God.
Yeah.
Lots of silver, as you'd have known if you'd been to viewing today. Lots of silver, lots of bits and bobs, lots of interesting stuff in the sale. Nice pottery, great tools, fantastic mixed boxes.
There is something for everybody this week.
But
There's a lot of everything.
It's what I call a dealer's week this week.
Yeah.
Because everything's a perfect storm. Lots of big mixed boxes, lots of valuable, saleable collectibles, and it's near the end of the month.
Yeah.
So
It's a good buyer's week,
the
isn't it?
private pocket is not as deep as it is at the beginning of the
I've
month.
had 2 weeks when I've not bought.
Oh, good God. Anyway, I tell you what, let's talk about the challenge, because while you was off, of course... Oh, of course, yeah, we've got to talk about this, haven't we? So of course, we said last week that it was... You don't even know what we did last week, do you?
No.
So last week we did episode 17 and a half. It was podcast episode 17 and a half, because Chris had stated that he wanted to be there for when we came of age at week 18. So we've managed to get ourselves a little bottle of something.
Indeed.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To you. Oh, that tastes quite nice, actually. Doesn't it?
Oh,
I do like a drop of Southern Comfort.
I feel like all the way down.
Yeah, warming you up. So, the hot news was I've got a couple of
Stuff I don't know about.
a couple of bits to tell you. So, of course, I bought 2 Hulks, didn't I?
Yeah.
£3.54 each.
Mm-hmm.
Put them on eBay, couldn't sell them at the price we wanted for them. Put them back in the eBay in the auction. £12 each.
How many times do we fetch something out the antique centre that we've struggled to get a tenner for, and just put it in thinking, I'll get £3 for it? He's made more than it has in the antique centre.
Two bidders after it in the room, and there we go. And they then went on the next one as well, another £12. So I picked up some money last week from Lisa for the challenge, and I had a couple of other bits in as well that were not sold. And I think we picked up £24 in total, something like that. So which was nice to go into the coffers. Still not got anything done with the clock though.
Yeah.
I've just not had the time.
Well, it's been buried in tools for a
It's
week.
been buried in tools. I've just not had time, and it's just been a bit of a bleeding nightmare. But the big news is the bike has sold.
Well done.
£200. So £200, and it's going to America.
Wow.
So I'm me and Brandon are quite pleased with how things are going. We bought a few bits that Brandon's took away this week to get on there. We've got quite a bit of stock at the minute. We've got some stuff. We bought a few bits for Vinted as well, which a couple of bits of those.
Got to jump in on that. Vinted has just absolutely done a game changer, hasn't it?
Oh, Vinted.
It has. This is what we were waiting for. With Vinted. This is the moment.
Come on then, tell them all, because they won't know.
Is it only a week old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it just before I got on the plane. Vinted's opened up the categories. They're so wide now. I think it's under entertainment. If you go into entertainment category to memorabilia, it then just goes into music, collectibles, figurines, sports, arts and entertainment, and you can almost list anything under those categories.
They've really opened it up, haven't they?
Yeah, because they'd kick them off before, wouldn't they? If you put a figurine on,
Yeah.
it was got. And they've now got stamps, postcards, coins, postcards.
What I liked is that they've almost reacted every time to eBay.
Yeah,
So eBay come out with, we're not going to charge you listing fees and all the rest of it, and then actually they just rear-ended you a few months down the line, and then so Vinted have sort of gone, okay, fair enough, we'll open up the categories.
We'll have your business now,
and
because eBay's now took hold of how you sell as a private seller. They determine the postage.
Yeah,
It's all changed or something.
I think eBay should have kept themselves as there was. They was growing
Yeah.
nicely. But anyway, that's that. Vinted are just smashing it for me.
Yeah.
I even listed a few bits on Vinted this week that I'd never thought I'd listed on Vinted, and within 5 minutes of putting them on, I was selling them.
Yeah.
You know, and that speaks volumes to me. So keep going, Vinted.
Yeah.
If you're not on there, get on there. You know, you can buy stuff out of the auction now.
And if you were an eBay seller and you've not used it, just give it a go, because I
bought
so
a
easy.
box in the auction on Saturday. It had some Mother's Day stuff in it and other bits and bobs, and I thought it's £3, £3.54, and put a few bits on last night. Already sold one item at £3, which I got £3. So you know, I'm 54p in the mire with about 40 quid for stuff to sell. Just so easy. Vinted. Already wrapped up there on there. I haven't even got to put a label on it. I just take it to the every shop, scan the thing, off it goes.
It's the easiest way to sell, isn't it?
It just makes so much sense. So come on then, tell me about the rest of the challenge. Let's get the board on. Let's have a look.
Right, we've got an update.
It's a big one as well, isn't it?
Yeah. What we got? Carl and Brandon. So you're up to 250.
So let's just, if you are new to the podcast, let's just remind you all about what this is. So we did a £20 challenge a couple of months ago now, something like that.
The week before Christmas.
Yeah. Started this challenge. You started with £20. As soon as you've earned the £20 back by buying and selling, you can then start using your profit to buy stuff and all the rest of it. So in them few weeks, there you go. This is where we're up to, and I'll let Chris take over because now you know what we're doing.
Yeah, you were on 65 last week plus your stock. So you're on 250 cash in hand plus your stock, plenty of stock.
Which I don't want. I don't want to.
You want it tied up in stock.
I want it tied up in stock.
Yeah.
So having money is great, but money then can be spent on other things. You need that money to buy, to purchase, to keep going, to make this challenge work.
Where are we on? Lisa and Tom. They're on £49.56. So they've got more cash in than last week, plus the stock again. They've bought again.
Yeah.
So
come on then, Big Ed.
Well, we seem to have jumped from 801 to 1,037.
You've been on bleeding holiday.
Yeah, well, I put stuff on eBay, didn't I, while I was away. That's the beauty of it.
Let's just listen, everybody. £1,037 in a couple of months. Additional money. Now, of course, you know this obviously it's profit.
Yeah.
So don't forget, everybody, because I think this is important to mention this again as we need to. If you start getting into these sort of numbers, there are tax implications.
Yes. Yeah.
So you need to make sure that when you do this, that you declare that. You don't want people knocking on your door.
Yeah. Where's all this extra money?
Same as with us. If we get to 5,000 quid by the end of this challenge, which I'm pretty sure we will, we'll have £1,000 of that to pay in tax.
Yeah.
And unless, of course, we reinvest it. Now, remember, you can reinvest money to try and avoid the tax. It's not really avoiding it because as you earn more, you'll start paying more anyway.
Yeah, it'll just snowballs.
But don't get caught foul of that. Keep it straight.
Yeah, keep your records.
Keep it right. Yeah, keep your records. That's important. So, what did you buy? How much did you sell it for? What did you buy? How much did you sell it for? And just remember, there's lots of things that you can buy for your little business that you're creating that are tax deductible.
Yeah.
In fact, everything pretty much.
But when you start getting into the bigger figures, then there are things you're going to need to buy to restore things. And
remember this: every big business started off small.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And that's what. But let's look at that. So, £1,300 and something pound there.
Yeah.
£1,300 by a few friends, just having a bit of a challenge, having a bit of a laugh. Yeah. Let's face it, this isn't. No, it's not. We're not doing it full time.
No.
We're just doing it as a bit of a fun aside of what we do normally. Yeah. And there we all are making money. And of course, the idea of this challenge is to get to the end of the year and then book a holiday with it all together.
To cruise.
Oh, we need to cruise with Jane McDonald. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be. Can you imagine if Jane was on the cruise?
Might be singing. Yeah.
If she was reviewing it, to Jane.
Mine's nearly gone.
Just pretend you're drinking it. coming of age. So anyway, there you go. So cruising with Jane McDonald, it's looking great. Do you know what? What I think what's so much fun about it is that we're all enjoying it. We're all having a laugh about it every week.
Yeah.
Lisa keeps making loads of mistakes, and and what Lisa hasn't told you, right, is they bought a box of craft the other week. Lisa don't watch podcasts now anyway. She says she can't be done with it on a Friday night, so I can say this. So she bought this box of craft, and in the bottom of this box, they didn't realise there was this tub of charms, and I liked them. They weren't precious metal, but I liked them. I said, yeah, I'll have a go at those. So I tell you what, I said, I give you 20 quid. You paid £3 for the box, but I give you 20 quid for it. They went, no. I says, right, I'll offer you one more offer, and then I will never offer you on it again. I offered them £50 for this box of charms.
That's a hell of a mark.
They both looked at each other and went, not a chance. They couldn't sell them.
You dodged that one.
No, I don't want them. Another lesson, kids. Sometimes the best deal.
It's the fast one.
The best deal is the first deal.
First deal, yeah.
You know, and ultimately, they rolled the dice and lost because they thought, no, he's offering us that. I was gambling. That's all I was doing, was purely gambling. Although I do actually say that if I'd have had them, I'd have been able to make money on them. But
did you sell any of those fish farm CDs?
I've not tried.
That's gambling.
I don't even know where they are. I mean, I have had a couple of, I've had a couple of good little purchases lately, and much like you do, Chris. You know, I mean, you, as much as we like to bleat on about prestige auctions, it's not all about prestige auctions, is it? I mean, you know, the clock I didn't buy from here, and other bits and bobs. I bought something else this week that I didn't pay a whole lot of money for. That's worth potentially. I'm always very careful when I talk about stuff like this, because it's very easy to say something's worth something. It's not worth something until you've sold it.
No.
I mean, I could say that this, part drunk can of Coke is worth £1,000. No one's going to buy it. You could advertise it.
When you do your research, you see stuff sells on eBay, so you're gearing up to bid on it in the auction. So this item that you've been looking at, they seem to sell for like, 40 or 50 quid. So you've bought it in the auction, you've gone up to like 20 quid on it, because you always want to double your money, really, don't you?
Yeah, well, it'd be nice if you could.
And then when you come to try and sell it, you can't get anywhere near what they're always making. How many times does that happen?
I'm going to give everyone a tip here. Now I've had our 18th birthday.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that 18th week counts as 18 years, but whatever. Be very careful of this, everybody. And you must have come across this in the past. People putting stuff into an auction, planning it in advance, putting something on eBay exactly the same, very sort of bespoke item, which people are going to research if they've not seen it before, getting the friend to buy it at 300 quid, so then it comes up in the sold listings on eBay at £300, then they just cancel the sale.
Yeah, so it gets the green tick.
You've got a person comes along to the auction room. Oh, I haven't seen one of those before. Google Lens, there it is, eBay, just sold 300 quid. Oh my God, they're making 300 quid.
Yeah.
Be careful.
We see every week people with the Google Lens and stuff.
Because not everything is it seems online.
Do more research.
And if somebody had put that in, it might not be worth a fiver, but it'll look like it's worth £300. I have seen it done. I've seen it done in other auctions.
That's a real Lovejoy trick.
Well, it is, but you do have to remember that when you're in this game, there are those tricks out there.
Yeah.
And you've got to be careful. You've got to, 100% have your finger on the pulse all the time and keep looking, keep researching. I say this to anyone that will listen, don't just go to eBay. Don't fall into that trap of eBay. It's all, every phone I look at in the auction rooms on eBay, I'm like, don't just use eBay. Just type it into Google as your best bet. That will give you eBay, Etsy, not Vinted. Interestingly enough.
You can't find any history on Vinted. another one which I have used in the past. I'm not using it at the minute because there is a charge for it, but it was worth it. Is that Worth Point?
So yeah, so Worth Point basically is another one of these search engines. Well, they buy a lot of information off people.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we don't do it at Prestige because I don't like it. But if you're an auctioneer like we are, you can choose to either make your sale results public or not.
Yeah.
We choose to make ours public because I think it's open and transparent.
Is that on Easy Life?
Yeah. So, but we could say we'll choose to keep them private, so no one can see the past listings, and then we could sell that information into one of these companies.
Yeah.
And then they use it as realistic pricing. You see, so it's for what they pay, it's not a lot. I've never been tempted. I have been offered money for our information, and I've said no. It's not a road that we want to go down.
But if you subscribe to Worth Point, it's not a lot, is it? Is it £4 or £5 a month, something like that?
But they've got the right idea, haven't they? Because you subscribe to someone like Worth Point. I will say as well, if you go on their saleroom.com, as long as you are registered with them, you can see their past results.
You can see the results, yeah.
Which again is quite good because you'll sometimes go on Google Lens and it will say, one was sold on saleroom, and then you have to go in and sign in, and then you can get that result.
Yeah.
Which is really, really good. I know I don't want to keep you too long today, Chris, because I know you're knackered and you've had an hard day and your back's knackered and
my hernia's popping out, I'm crippled up and all sorts.
I do just want to touch on something because I think it's important for this week. So, obviously, while you've been on holiday, President Trump has tried to be peacemaker in Russia. And,
I've seen a little bit of this.
It's looking quite interesting that he could get somewhere.
Yeah.
The reason I'm talking about this is not because I want to talk about politics, it's because what that could potentially do to the metal markets.
It's already started, hasn't it?
So, gold dropped £1.32 a gram, I think it was, on Friday. Now, someone or two would be looking and going, well, I don't know, I checked 9 carat gold, it only dropped 30 odd pence. Yeah, I'm talking about what it dropped at full gold price. So if you narrow that down, it would be about 30 odd pence a gram. But it dropped significantly on the back of these peace talks and all the rest starting. If they achieve peace over there, then that gold and silver price could slip back. So what I'm saying to everyone, be careful. Be extremely careful at the moment. If you're buying lots of gold and silver as investment, stuff like that, if we get peace in the world again, it will slip back. It always does. It will come back again eventually, but just be that little bit careful.
Don't buy gold, buy boxes.
Buy boxes of assorted. That's the ones that Chris always says. So, right, anyway, we're going to leave it there for this week because I think that we're all knackered that way, and we've got another 2 hours to do yet, lotting up the music.
I've normally had some tapas, a little bit of booze and asleep by now.
Listen, everybody, it's absolutely great to get Chris back on the podcast. We're going to do something a little bit different for you next week. I know we've got Jill on, but we're also going to do a little bit of filming out in the auction room during the day, I think. We've been speaking, we need to change it up a bit.
Yeah.
So we're going to change things up a little bit for you. So there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through into the special sales area now, where Lisa is more than likely going to have a go at me for being lazy. Chris, however, is going to go home. He's probably going to have a couple more of those and have a little bit of a snooze. Thanks, everybody, for watching the podcast. Say goodbye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
And we'll catch you all again very soon at Prestige Auctions.